Rob, what's good, homie? We don't have an intro anymore because Rob's computer situation sucks. Somebody sponsor us so that Rob can get a new damn computer. All right, please. Somebody out there in the bowling world sponsor us and throw some kind of little measly amount of money our way so this cheap ass partner that I have on my podcast can go out and buy a computer and justify it, please.
Dude, all I know is that I don't need it. I'm using my work computer, and I've been meaning to buy a computer. But dude, that's a quick like $1,000 I'm gonna have to drop on a new computer, and I have a work computer that works fine. So it's like I guess
Man,
I've been procrastinating it.
I just bought my kid a new Chromebook this week,
Oh yeah,
700. Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
I know. You know what it is? It's just like I haven't really went, and I don't know really what I even want to buy yet. So
True.
I'm still
All right,
debating if.
welcome everybody. Oh man, we're gonna have a bunch of antics in the chat here
Do you want me
tonight,
to block
Rob.
some? Do you want me to start
No,
blocking? Do you want me to
no, it's okay.
throw the
They're
hammer down?
weirdos. They're weirdos. They're weirdos. I mean,
Because
who
I don't want to get
who
trolled here. You know.
spends their Wednesday night at home stalking their former teacher? Who does that, son? Come on,
Yo,
that's
Robert,
weird, man.
what's happening, man? Hope
Robert,
all's
what's
good, dude.
good?
Thanks for
Welcome
joining.
everybody. Rob, we have a lot to talk about tonight.
Dude,
There's a
we
lot to
do.
get into.
We do, but
We got a full show for the people.
yeah, I got a great quick story though about my brother. I hope
Joey
he's
Bell
listening.
Bottoms, lots of bowling to talk about. Lots
know.
of bowling to talk about. Yes.
For sure. So I got a good story about my brother Dave. I hope he's listening right now, or maybe he'll join on later. So my brother, like, since I'm in Vegas, he'll throw me some money. I'll put in some bets for him. Monday Night Football, right? Your Eagles played.
Sunday
and,
night. Sunday night.
Sunday night. Sorry, Sunday night. He texts me at like 5:18 and is like, "Hey, put $10 that Carson Wentz is going to score the first touchdown of the game." Dude, the odds were like plus 3,000 for that to happen. So he was going to get, Anyway, I put the bet in and it populated as error. The game already started. Dude, he was literally a minute late. It cost him $300. He's fucking still sour about it.
Rob, the people are on our look at this. Look at what's going down in the chat here. I can't bring it up if you want to bring it up. That last comment there.
Yeah.
I can't bring it up for some reason. It's not letting me control anything. Rob must have taken away my controls here.
I did.
The people are on our ass, Rob. Look at this. Yeah. They're in the chat already. They want to know what's good.
We got to talk about it.
Don't worry, we're going to get around to it.
Yeah,
so,
we got a good show here tonight.
So Dave missed out.
Out $300, and he's still sour. He still talks about it every day. He's called me up. He's like, "It'll never happen again."
Whose fault was it though?
It was his fault because he gave me the bet literally a few minutes before, and I was doing something at the time, so I was like, "Yo, let me call you back real quick." So I call him back, and I'm like, "You sure?" And I text him like, "You sure you want $10 now?" He's like, "Yeah." I put it in and missed it, man. So I apologize, man. I felt bad because I thought like maybe it was my fault, but anyway. So that's real quick. A funny story. If you talk to him or you tweet him on social media,
story.
or whatever.
Sad story, son.
It is sad story. He's pissed. He's sour, and then of course he puts all kinds of people to score first touchdowns Monday Night Football and doesn't win any of it, and he thinks he's cursed. Anyway, I digress. So today,
big news in my world, Rob, from this week.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I'm too quick to get into the bowling that's going on. Okay, what's going on, Mike?
News in my world. Well, it's bowling related. I went bowling for the first time since COVID.
The mask.
So had to have the mask on when I went in the building. It was relatively empty, Rob. I was shocked. It was Saturday, like I'd say early evening, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Went to a local place, Majestic Lane. Shout to Majestic. Bowler's Bowling Alley there for anybody that's familiar with it. But went to Majestic. Just I don't know. I wasn't doing anything on Saturday night, Saturday afternoon. The weather wasn't that great. I just got the urge to kind of bowl and decided to take a ride over and practice a little bit. And let me say, it happened to be a sport pattern out on the pair that I was practicing on, and the mechanic came down and told me, "Oh yeah, there was an event here earlier today. They had a little pattern out." It was brutal. It was brutal, son. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, taking that much time off and getting back out there, like, yeah, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. I'll say that. It took me a while. Honestly, it took me 2 games just to kind of get my feet underneath of me and get my hand in,
I
like
know.
behind the ball in a
Yeah,
position that
man.
I felt like it was decent. I mean, it was rather crazy just to see how much of a deterioration there had been over that time. But I don't know if I'm back full time now. But I'm back throwing the ball. You know, I only brought 3 balls in with me. I wasn't going crazy, and one of those was a spare ball. You know, I just wanted to get a few games in. That's it. I just wanted to get a few games in, so I was able to do that. It started to get a little crowded towards the end. I guess it was like 8:30 or so, and I decided to pack it up and get out of there. No, I hear you, David. I feel you. I'll get back out there. You know, it has more to do than just with COVID for me. It's more a time thing as well.
Motivation and
Yeah,
just all
yeah.
kinds
Like
of
I've
shit.
said, like I've said on the show before, like it's just a hobby for me. So, you know, it's not really something that takes a high level of precedence in my life. But
I know.
um,
I've been feeling like that for months, Mike. Like I haven't really been motivated. I really have to sometimes force myself to go bowl a few games, honestly. And everything's open here. It's just my hand doesn't feel right. Like there's I'm bowling on lanes that haven't been oiled in like 5 days, and I'm throwing like I don't know. You kind of just get unmotivated.
yeah. So I went just real quick on that. I went to one bowling center that's closest to my house. First, they were closed at 4 p.m. on a Saturday. So like the sign on the door said they were only
Jesus.
open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then I went to Carolier, right, Bolero, North Brunswick, and they were on a waiting list. Okay, the basement wasn't open, which didn't make any sense to me. It's like 30 some lanes, but they were on a waiting list. And then I went to Majestic Lanes, which isn't far from there, and they were kind of empty at the time that I was practicing. But you know, I'm back out there. I'm throwing the rock a little bit. So I don't know. Rob? Can you answer that?
Hatchet, yo, my man Hatchet was bowling a little bit of action out in Vegas here a couple weeks
Oh
ago
yeah,
or
okay.
last week. Yeah, I don't want any Hatchet smoke, man. He'll kill me right now on the lanes. I haven't been bowling, honestly. Like I just been bowling, man, just here and there. I go to Red Rock every once in a while. I go to the Orleans. I just throw some games. But you know, maybe I'll have to come down to Wildfire, man. There's some action there every Saturday, I guess. Not bowling for a lot, you know. There's a few matches, but maybe I'll just come down, watch, grab some money, throw some.
Not bullshit. Get in there, son. When I bowl an
No, not
action
right
match,
now, man.
you put money on me. I ain't gonna front. Hit me
Yeah,
up.
but you were
I'll Venmo
bowling,
you. I
man.
got half the action. Eric Hatcher, you want the smoke? Come get my
No,
boy.
I don't.
got half
I don't
that
want to.
action.
I don't want any Hatchet smoke, man. Hatchet's good.
I'm only kidding.
I'm gonna get a 190 average match right now.
And get some sticks. Try and get some sticks
Yeah,
too, will you?
I know. But yeah,
Wow, Baker. Look at that, Rob. Baker team.
dude, you do not want me on that
100th
team
this
right now.
weekend. Wow.
You don't want me on
Okay.
that team.
I like that. I like
I'm
that. I
going
like that
like
action.
3 games a month right now. I'm really bad right now.
Yo,
I can't explain it.
I hope Dougie sees that. He needs to start promoting some Baker matches too.
That's pretty good, though. That's pretty
action.
cool.
That's good action. Yeah, it
Might
is.
come down. Where's it at, Hatch? Put in the comments. Where's that action at? Maybe I'll come
where's
down.
that
I'll watch
taking
a little
place?
bit. I'll bring some money. Maybe I'll make some bets. I'm better at side betting and commentating these days than I am actually bowling. Just
True.
being honest.
No,
So,
it's a hard truth for us, I guess, both, Rob. Right?
yeah. So,
All right, so Rob, okay, we have a couple more things to talk about before we get into the real serious shit tonight. Usually, I'm the one who's checking all the bowling content, but before we came on, you were talking about some bowling content that you checked out that you wanted to let the people know about.
yeah, I was happened to be scrolling through my Facebook today, a slow day at work, and saw there's an Action Nevada. You should join in on that.
No, I will. I'll check that out.
There was AJ Johnson was on. I guess Brett Angelo has a streaming show for his pro shop. It's like Strike 10 or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it a few times.
I just happened to see AJ Johnson on. I'm like, all right, let me go on and watch for like 10 or 15 minutes and see what's going on. And they were talking about obviously the feud, or as I call it, the Fire Festival of bowling, the feud scam of the year, where you thought they were feuding and then they scammed the whole audience to think something was going on and it wasn't really happening.
Ride with the sun. We knew we were going up against it. We're dude, more entertaining than
who would you rather listen to, Kamala and Pence or Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike? It's easy.
You know what's good.
We're a lot more entertaining than those fools will be. Now we won't be as entertaining as Trump and Biden were. I'll tell you that.
Nah,
But
it's too high a bar.
I will. Hey, I'm not afraid to go up against the VP debate. I mean, shit. Anyway, so Brad Angelo was talking about how it wasn't a setup, and he got into the heat of the moment, and that AJ, they were all cool with it and stuff. And so I commented, I'm like, why'd you guys squash the beef so quick? You guys should at least let it go for a few games. Let the fans think that there's actually something real going on, even if you guys were kind of. And of course, they didn't respond to me because they don't want to that smoke. AJ would respond to me if I asked him, but Brad wouldn't, talk about it. But next time we bring on AJ or we talk to him, I'm going to ask him why he was so quick to squash that beef. When we talked about it last week. Anyway, John, that's a great comment. Yo, just wait till we get into some. Wait till we talk about that a little bit. It's been.
We're getting there.
We're getting there,
people. We're getting there. We got some things to get to.
Anyway, so that was it. It was. You want to go check it out? I'm sure it's on their page. Yes, Scott Coley is on the Beef and Barnsley show tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit about Coley, or talk a lot about Coley.
Won't come here. Listen. Yeah. No, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to go there. But
she doesn't want to come on the show.
She doesn't want to come on here. She doesn't want to come on here because we
gave her questions.
We'll ask her what we want to ask her.
And she won't answer.
Tough questions, right? So open invite. We tried to get her right away. Listen,
we tried to get Coley on
8 months ago when that went down. We were the only relevant podcast in the bowling game at that time.
Absolutely.
Right? There's more content out there now. Chris and Stu are doing their thing. I watch their show. I've been on their show. Rob watches their show. He's in the chats in their show. So listen, we respect what they're doing. Absolutely. And I'll be tuning in tomorrow. Absolutely. If I can, if it's at a time. And if I don't, I'll catch it after.
I'm going to be commenting, Mike. I'm going to be throwing some questions
I can't comment on there because it's, it's my wife's Facebook. I get flamed.
Oh,
when I commented on Bill, when Bill was on, they were flaming the shit out of me for,
Dude, I'm going to comment on
Facebook.
I'm going to comment on our Facebook page. Like, I'm going to comment so that when we comment, it's going to show our show instead of my name. So people know who's asking those questions. So you might want to check that out because Stu, I'm warning you right now.
Don't go trolling Chris
I'm not trolling.
Stu, though. All right. I'm just saying.
I'm not trolling. I'm going to ask legit real questions.
Okay.
Like, why won't she come on the show? Like, why do we have to serve her up a 70-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle of the
You're going to
plate?
have them sweating. You're going to have them sweating in the chat.
Yeah, they're going to be like, Jesus, they're not going to put that up. But I know she could see those comments. Anyway, Coley.
Rob, it's the couple nights, Alex, our guy, he's going to be on next week, too. Alex is going to be on to talk some college bowling next week, give us an update with what's going on with college bowling and COVID. So we'll have him on next week. But, yeah, he's right.
About the parties than the bowling. I want to know how college bowlers are partying during COVID. Like, are they wearing masks? I mean, like, are you like? I'm so happy Stu is watching. Stu, I'm warning you. I'm going to be true. I'll be professional, but I'm going to throw some comments out there. Like, we're going to talk a lot about tonight, like about some of the.
Maybe they'll want to bring up some of the clips of our show. If you want, Stu, you have our express permission to use whatever you want, homie. You got it. All right. So, Rob, we got to keep it moving. There's too much to get to. We got to keep it moving.
Okay.
Brent Bowers. We got to give a shout to Brent Bowers, right? I'm sure most people saw the video by now. 300 or sorry, not 300. 299, 300, 899. Amazing shooting. Shout to him.
Shout out.
Somebody whose name I remember just from following Junior Gold and college bowling. I think he's a little younger than us, I would say. Probably came through a few years after we were done, but definitely a name I remember. So shout to him. Big things there. And then Rob, the last thing you wanted to talk about here in our opening was the social media fervor over Maria Sharapova's house.
Yo, Maria Sharapova put an open invite to, I guess, the PBA pros because she's got some bowling lanes in her house.
Hold on, hold on a minute, Jose Izaus. This is
JBT, man.
Yeah, JBT and St. Peter's College as well. The college that I went to, I actually chose to go there and bowl because he was on the team when I went to check them out. And then when I got there the next year, he wasn't there. I was like highly disappointed about that. Good lefty from back in the day from the JBTs. Is bowling still big in the tri-state area? I'd say, yeah. I would say that it is. I would think it's got to be one of the more popular areas for it in the United States still, especially like the Jersey, New York, Connecticut area there. So, I'd
Yes.
have to say yes.
All right. Let's talk Maria
Go
Sharapova.
ahead.
So,
Maria Sharapova. Bowling alley in her house. Bowling
yeah,
alley in her house.
she invited any two pros to go to, or any pros to bowl with her. And anybody knows what Maria Sharapova is doing these days. She was on Shark Tank, for I don't know how many episodes, but she's a pretty big businesswoman right now, and she's really smart. And if bowling was smart, they would want to bring in someone like Maria Sharapova, who's obviously got bowling lanes in her house, so she likes to bowl. She's athletic, she's intelligent, she's good looking. She's actually my dream woman. I'd probably marry her right now without ever meeting her. But other than that, like, dude, bowling, get a good relationship with that. Get a sponsorship from her. She's involved with so many companies, and she's almost a perfect like investor to the PBA. Now, is that something where Coley and the marketing dream team could come in and talk and get her involved? I don't know. Like,
No,
they
that's
should.
stupid because that would last a year like all the other ones and then be meaningless after that. So let's throw that idea out.
But I mean, look,
if this was the Hoss tank, I would give that idea $0 investment.
dude,
Get that
like,
idea out of
she's
here.
a good
You're dead to me. You're dead to me. That's what I would say.
dude. She's a great connection to get it for the PBA, to get like visibility. Think about the media that would start if they were able to bring in someone like Maria Sharapova into the PBA, and Bolero even. But now that Bolero has the PBA, like, I don't know how willingly they will be to, like, maybe do some kind of deal or partnership, or I don't know. I'm just spitballing. But anyway, yeah.
Well, I mean,
So anyway,
with the way Coley favorites all of Barstool Carl's tweets, I would think she would take any celebrity if you're willing to latch on to Barstool Carl. I mean, shit. If you're latching on the Barstool Carl, you're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. Okay,
yeah.
So you could all tell him I said that too if you want. All right.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure
kind
he'll
of scrape the bottom of the barrel there. So I'm sure Maria Sharapova, would be fine. So
anyway.
Rob, in recognition of this this hype over Maria Sharapova and her house and inviting bowlers to her house, we just wanted to do a quick flat 10, where we're each going to give 5 bowlers that we would bring with us if we got the invite to Maria Sharapova's house. Who are the 5 bowlers that we are going to bring with us? Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So we got to have some duplicates on this list, I would imagine, right? People got to know we don't look at each other's lists when we do this. So there's got to be a couple duplicates here. Do you want to get the duplicates out of the way?
Yeah, Kyle Troop, right, has got to be on your list.
Yeah, Kyle Troop is definitely on my list. Yeah.
So we'll
get
Weber.
that one out of the way. I don't.
I bring P. Weber.
We both got Belmo on the list.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, let's get rid of that one. Right, we both have that one. Do we both have Bill on the list?
No, I wouldn't bring Bill.
No? Oh, man. No. Bill, do you hear that? Do you hear that?
No,
somebody who knows Bill to watch this show, report back to him, okay?
No, I want to bring some young. I'm bringing AJ Johnson.
All right, here we go. All right, let's go. So you go first. Go ahead. You start.
Dude, I want young. I want, young. I want athletic. I want Maria Sharapova to look at these bowlers and be like, look, like, this is who I want, like, represent. This is who I want to look like a sport. I'm not, bringing, anybody over the age of 30, right? Like, Kyle Troop, guys like AJ Johnson, AJ Chapman, right? These are kids that I'm bringing. Like,
you got to give 5. You got to get. So you're just mentioning people at random.
I'm just saying,
you are bringing people over 30 because you're bringing Belmo, right? And he's the best marketer. Period. Right. So you got to bring Belmo.
You have to bring Belmo. I'm bringing young. I'm bringing athletic. I know, Stu. Look, like, Belmo's got to go because Belmo was like a true, like, ambassador of the sport. He really is, and he's the best in the world. There's nobody better than him.
He's the only one who could say, "Oh yeah, I have some social media videos with 100 million views." So okay, so you go AJ Johnson first. Is that fair?
Uh-huh.
All right, yeah. I'll get it out of the way since I already said it. I'm bringing Bill because I think Bill's a really good ambassador to the game, and he's pretty much the second best bowler in the world right now. I think the relationship between him and Belmo is an interesting thing that you can market. So yeah, I'm bringing Bill. All right, who you got next?
Now I'm throwing you a curveball here.
All right,
I'm bringing Daria, and I know she's not a PBA pro.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
They will absolutely hit it off. You want to hit it out of the ballpark. You want her to invest in bowling in general. You're bringing Daria. Daria's young. She's good looking. She's athletic. She looks even a little bit like Maria Sharapova. So like I feel like they would hit it off completely.
Yeah. Is it? I didn't go this route. I didn't even think about that. You might actually win a segment on this show tonight because you thought outside the box and I didn't, right? So I think bringing the women is even a better idea, right? Somebody just mentioned Shannon O'Keefe. I agree. Gigi, bring her. She's got a knack for Danielle McEwen, bring her. She's got a knack for promoting stuff and so okay. My next one, I don't know if it's going to be a popular one, but I'm going to put it out there because I say it a lot. I really think that the guy is one of the best bowlers when it comes to like promoting the sponsors and giving back to the sponsors, and that's Sean Rash. So I'm bringing him because I think he's got a good business sense, and I think that he knows how to promote that sponsorship side of the game. Who you got? It should be your last one, I think. Here, no?
Yeah, I was really, really debating on these two young players, right? But Marshall Kent would be one I'd bring out there. Young, athletic, stays in shape, right, and is a very good spokesperson for the PBA. And dude, he's so like well spoken. Like he would make a really good representation of PBA. But Mike, real quick, you know who I was debating? Who's my sixth man? Dude, Matt Ogle. Dude, Matt Ogle is young. He's good looking. He's athletic. Like, that's who I'm bringing.
Okay. My last one, kind of the same thing with you. Young, popular, etc. Is going to be Simo. Simo. He's also pretty much to me like the future of the person who I look at and say, well, this is probably the next great bowler to dominate the tour for a long time.
Who would you not bring? Who would be? We should do a top 10 and who we would not bring. I think that would be funnier. Actually.
Yeah, true. I could say, I'll say one of the people I would not bring would be Dick Allen. Just judging from social media, wouldn't bring him.
Dale Traber.
He'd probably turn the conversation political and bring it down the road you don't want to go down.
Dale Traber. I would bring Dale Traber. I'm just thinking about the guys you wouldn't want to bring, Stu. You guys Stu needs to be blocked from our chat, I think.
Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. If you block him, I'll leave. All right.
Dude, Ogle looks in our chat. Ogle looks like young, like he doesn't look 36. Okay, FYI. And we got to get him on. I like Ogle. Like he's a good dude. And anyway, so I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, he could probably cut her lawn while he's there too. He probably do a nice. Stu
ain't going. Stu ain't going to Sharapova's house. I don't want Stu and I don't want Stu there. I'd bring Barnes, but I wouldn't bring Stu.
All right, Rob, can I do my regional review now?
Oh God, can I go get dinner real quick?
Can I do my regional review?
Grubhub or something delivered.
I'll make it quick. All right. PBA Oklahoma City Southwest Open. All right, all these took place last weekend. Shout to an amateur, Eric Jones, who won that event. Rob, let me read you some of the names that were after him in the standings. I mean, I don't know who the hell Eric Jones is, to be honest with you, but he must have some game. Maldonado, Anthony Lavery Spar, Wesley Lowe, Rambo Ray, who we've had on the show, Sean Lavery Spar, and Nathan Bohr, all in the top there, and Eric Jones, the amateur, tops the ball.
Look at this shot in the. Yeah, obviously you don't want young, in shape, good-looking people on your show. So
no, they want entertainment.
Oh, I'm entertaining too. I got it all, baby. I'm the total package.
All right, PBA Bolero Vernon Hills Midwest Open.
Dude, Eric Jones is 15, FYI.
Is he really?
Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here.
I did not know that.
That's
Two-hander lefty.
What? Yo, that's wild. And he beat all those guys that I just mentioned: Maldonado, Andy Lavery, Spar, Wesley Lowe, Rambo Ray, Joan Lavery, Spar, and Nathan Moore.
We might be on too late for have him on the show. Was he on the East Coast? 15?
No, he's got to be in like Texas area, I would imagine.
That's incredible. Man, that's amazing. I mean, when I was 15, I probably could have won a regional too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but
right.
If I was allowed to bowl regionals at 15, I mean,
confidence was high, right? Confidence was high when we were 15.
Dude, I would have bowled anybody at 15, but I was not allowed to even bowl for $1 until I was 17 or 18. So what did he win scholarship? Because like, how does that work? Or does he have his pro card?
Not sure. Probably signed the waiver. I would think.
Amazing,
Oklahoma kid. Okay.
Oh, future. Cameron Crowe, future of the bowling, dude. Like Star of Tomorrow, right, or something. Like, remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
Where they, Anyway, okay, go back. That was really interesting.
Thank you. I got to check this kid. I can't believe I was on.
Finally, something interesting on Mike's regional review.
I saw something about that, and I took note of it, but I just must have slipped my mind. I got to follow up on that. I do some research there. All right, so. PBA Bolero Vernon Hills Midwest Open. James Rogers was the winner there. Congrats to him. PBA AMF Woodstock Georgia Open. Brandon Curtis was the winner there. Second place notable was Walter Ray. With the SS next to his name, Rob. Super senior. Walter Ray. Right? It's crazy. Man. Okay.
Dude.
And then PBA Bolero Willington Open was and this was interesting. There were a lot of guys, I guess, who stayed around after the World Series concluded, and there was a regional in Wilmington, Delaware. So you saw some names there that you wouldn't normally see in the East region. And Jacob Buttriff collects yet another regional title.
He's a regional machine, man.
Yeah, he must make spares at regionals. He was there. And then Jake Rollins was second, Matt O'Grady was third, and Francois Laveau was fourth there. So,
dude, Matt O'Grady going great, by the way.
He is.
Dude, I like he's someone I'd bring to Sharapova's house.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that earlier. Actually.
Bring him and his wife there. Dude, they would get along famously, man. That'd be a great match.
Okay, Rob. Let's talk about the shows.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about these shows. A lot of bowling on over the weekend.
Yeah,
I didn't know about it.
I know.
I didn't know about it, which seems almost impossible to me.
I know.
We'll talk about that later a little bit, but let's talk about the actual bowling first.
Yeah.
Okay. First event was the Cheetah Open. Okay.
Yes.
First, can we start here? Let's say this. Is it fair to say that the change of venue really had a major effect on how these tournaments, played out? Is it fair to say that?
Yeah, but everybody dealt with it, so it wasn't like it was unfair or nothing. Like everybody dealt with the same thing. I mean,
I'm not crying about it. I'm just saying I think that had the finals been bowled in the same venue that they were bowled in before, I don't know if the results would have been the same as what we saw here.
Yeah, I don't think. No, I don't think the winners would have been the same. But yeah, I mean, everybody dealt with it, so it is what it is. At least they got to finish it up.
No bullshit. Listen, no bullshit.
Stu makes a good point, though.
Rob or I would do a better job than Dave Ryan. Give me two cracks at that shit. I guarantee you. Okay,
I couldn't swear. I could not swear for 2 hours. That would be my problem.
Yeah, so Stu, good point. The left didn't look really good, and I just thought that this center where they were at, I'm not real familiar with it, but where they were at, it seemed to have some really strong characteristics to it that either made the lanes play really difficult for some guys, and for others they seem to be a little bit more playable. So. The first tournament was the Cheetah Open, okay, Cheetah Championship. Sean Rash, the winner. Rob, I can't believe that's his first World Series of Bowling title.
I know.
Yo, that's wild.
I know.
That's wild. That's crazy.
I know.
I thought that they were wrong when they said that, and then they brought up a graphic showing how many World Series of titles people have. And I got to be honest, like there was no number that really stuck out to me as that's a ton. Even Belmo, I think the number was maybe 8 that they had up there. So yeah, I was just really shocked to hear that was Sean Rash's first title. But thoughts on that show? Where do you want to go? What do you want to talk about with it?
I felt for EJ Tackett in general throughout all the shows because, dude, he should not bowl good on Cheetah. I mean, his game does not mesh with Cheetah, right? Like he's a left to right player. That's his A game, is left to right player, right? That's what he loves to play that way. For him to be able to make the finals on Cheetah and get really good at Cheetah shows how much of a bowler he's turned into and he's growing into. I mean, he's incredible. Like, this kid is awesome. Problem is, and really what came down to that show was the final match was the left lane. The left lane got super tight down the lane. He was using one of those hybrid urethane tank balls, right? And he just could not get that ball to turn off the corner. And for the last 3 to 4 shots on the left lane, he 2-pinned or 2-8, or, he just could not get that ball to turn over. And Rash, you want to talk about someone who started as a left to right player as a kid, right? When we grew up, and now all he does is throw it straight, right? I don't think I even remember watching Rash play left to 15 these days, using a resin and just able to, keep it in the pocket, keep it in play, and then just ultimately win the tournament because EJ just could not figure that left lane out. So.
Yeah, and listen, we've seen Rash do this before, right? Where he gets locked in on a pair and wins a few matches in a row and ends up winning the tournament. I felt like that's what happened here. He really followed the transition well, made the ball changes well. Like you said, he was the first guy to get to resin. Randy talked about that a little bit on the show, and I definitely felt that was an important factor there.
Dude, let's talk about how good
Packy had him. Packy had him, right? I mean, he shot 268 against Tang. He shot 230 against Tackett. And like you said, Tackett was a little lost on the left lane. He only shot 218 against Packy. And honestly, Packy had a couple shots at the end of the game that were a little bit errant. And, I felt like that game got away from Packy a little bit. And, Rash really had a nice, solid look all throughout that step ladder.
That roll 2-pin was a killer in that match.
It was.
And here EJ is like not rolling 2-pins, and Rash gets up on a double, I believe, and just absolutely just rolls a 2-pin, and he already rolled 2 2-pins, I think. It was. But how good has Rash been bowling since he's went to Global? I don't think we've talked about that. I mean,
is it the balls?
No, it's not, because Rash has been hot for the last 2 years.
Don't worry, Anthony Spags. We're going to get there.
We're getting there, Spags.
Let us get there, right? We're going to get there. We're going to talk about a lot of
problem,
shit
though.
That isn't followed up on, it looks like.
I want to talk about Brian's comment here real quick. Look, what I talked about at the beginning here is EJ using urethane, right, and being a left to right player. EJ has a really, really lot of entry, a lot of tilt in just his roll. That's how he's able to really slow hook the lane, like with the best of them, because he has got so much back end and so much just hook in the back of the lane. I'm very similar, not saying I throw, but similar to EJ, but my ball roll is very where I have to use urethane on Cheetah. If I go to resin, I have to make too much of a move left, and then I'm really caught, because you want to stay out of the middle of the lane. And I feel like at that moment, it would have been so hard for EJ to switch out of urethane, unless he switched to maybe another urethane that was more aggressive, or maybe that was able to like give him a little bit more like comeback off the back of the pattern. But tough man to switch balls like that. Rash did switch balls though in the final match. He did switch balls.
Made several ball changes actually throughout the step ladder. And listen, let's be honest. Rash has balls on that pattern. He does, and I'm not talking about bowling balls either.
Oh,
He throws that shit at the crack, and
dude,
he
he's not
throws it
afraid to
there
gutter, man.
aggressively. He ain't afraid to gutter, and
No,
honestly, I think that has a lot to do with his success on that
sure.
pattern. He really plays aggressively out there, and he goes out and repeats it. So I thought that was a good show. I enjoyed it. Shout to him. We're gonna talk a little bit more later about some of the issues we had with not really the shows, but the PBA. Is that fair to say, Rob?
Yeah, there's some issues. I got
Okay.
I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're gonna hear about them.
All right. So let's move on to the next show. Let's focus on the bowling for now. And that was the PBA Chameleon Championship. All right, finals. Okay. Rob, so this was where Belmonte won his 25th title.
Yeah.
All right. Brad Miller finished second. EJ Tackett, again on the show, finishes third. And Anthony Simon. Rob, can I say I want to start right here with this?
Sure.
I don't give a shit. Brad Miller, if you watch this, if you see this, somebody alert Brad Miller to this. You have a PBA title in my eyes, sir.
Dude,
you have a PBA title.
So good, man.
I'm serious. Like,
he bowled amazing.
He went through 3 of the sickest murderers out there. Okay, and just oh man, I mean, he threw some shots that were just nutted at the best times when he needed them. Okay, and yeah, I was pulling for him. I really was. It's not often that I root for any bowler but Bill. Like, usually I'm just a impartial observer to most of the matches, but I was rooting for him. I wanted him to win. And I got to say, man, to me, that's worth a title. Beating Simo, EJ Tackett, and giving Belmo a good run for his money, you got to walk away feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah. So funny story about that show is, I was watching, and I once in a while I'll start tweeting during a show, not like on purpose. Like, I just will do it. Just sometimes the habit, just kind of. I don't have anybody. I'm watching the show by myself, so it's kind of my way of just kind of talking out loud. And all of a sudden, I start getting responses from Belmo during the show. Okay, and me and Stu, the first game when he bowled Simo, the lanes were brutal. Okay, it made me. Thank God I wasn't bowling it. Like, I don't bowl anymore. And all of a sudden, we were talking. I was tweeting about how they're really tough. They're really hard. Like, did Bolero approve this hard condition? Because, Bolero doesn't. Coley went on record saying that she likes the scores being all high.
And also for the team event, right? That we tweeted a lot about that.
About
they looked pretty
easy.
soft at that.
Yeah. So anyway, the lanes all of a sudden. I don't want to say the lanes got easy, but Brad's it started to really and EJ really start to throw really bowl really well. The scores went from like 170s and whatever they bowled the first game to like 250s and 260s. And then I tweeted out, "Oh, they must have gone easy." Elmo responds to me, and he's tweeting me throughout pretty much the whole show, and we're going back and forth, right? And then Stu's involved. Dude, how can you argue with someone who's actually bowling the show while they're bowling and think you're actually going to win that argument? I can't win that argument. He's talking about the lane conditions. He's there. He bowled. He won the tournament, Mike.
Yeah, he's winning the tournament.
Here I am on the couch going, "Nah, man, I'm right. You're wrong."
Right.
Anyway, so that was just funny. I was laughing to myself. Belmo's always a good sport. He always likes to give me shit when he can. He likes to give you shit when he can. But anyway, they were really hard.
Yeah, I also, there's a lot here, right? A lot of shows to talk about, et cetera. But I also felt like the fact that they didn't use a traditional pair may have made them even a little bit more challenging. Whereas if they used a traditional pair, perhaps you wouldn't have had so much difference between the one lane and the other. I understand why they did it. I think it was probably just a logistical thing with, getting the set broken down for the team event, and they were taping those shows. So another good show there. Like I said, I was rooting for Brad Miller at the end there, but it didn't work out for him. So shout to Belmo, 25 titles. Rob, that's a large number, especially these days where
he's going to get to Walter type title numbers.
I don't. Just because of the number of events, but I mean, my goodness, like for the number of events that there have been, and I know that there's also some positives that came out of some of the changes too for guys today in terms of building their resume. But in terms of the number of events, for him to win 25 events in the current environment is pretty shocking. So
okay, so question: Now I'm gonna ask the people watching in the chat room, how many titles does Belmo need for him to be considered unanimously the greatest bowler of all time? Because he's already got the major record, and I don't think anybody's going to really be beating that. Maybe Simonson eventually 10 years down the road. But like, how many titles does Belmo get to, and how many does he need for everybody as a group to say he's the greatest of all time?
Stu says 25. Yeah, smart ass answer. Okay. 48. Oh, I don't know about that.
No,
I'm
not 48.
I'd probably be comfortable like anywhere
30.
in the ballpark of what the current record is. I mean, so within like maybe 10 titles or so, 15. So
how many more do you think he gets?
Around 35.
How many more do you think he gets? Depends on how much he bowls, right?
Yeah, it depends how many years he bowls.
I think he's gonna. I don't see him retiring anytime soon.
Yeah,
he's too hungry.
I kind of agree with John Stevenson there. Like 30, 35, it's going to be really hard to debate that. You know, when you look at the number of events and events bowled, it's going to be really, really hard to debate it if he gets to that number. But I think you know, like Stu, I think a lot of people already look at him that way. You know, I think that he's being referred to that way. You know, in many media, etc. Stu thinks he gets to 40. All right, you know, fair enough.
I do.
It's a lot of wins.
You know, I think we had this conversation like a year and a half ago where we asked each other who we thought the greatest of all time was, and at that time I said P. Weber, because P. Weber has won titles in every decade since the 70s, right? I think P. Weber's first title was 79. You asked me a year and a half later, Belmo is the greatest of all time, and he's 3 years younger than me. He's like 35, 36. Mike, okay. He's got another good like. I mean,
John,
he doesn't
talk about that.
Yeah, it's funny, but hopefully there's more events, and if there's more events, then there's going to be more titles for him. So, okay, enough of that.
Okay. Next event was the PBA Scorpion Open, and
I didn't even watch.
What did you call him? What did you call him before we came on? The
European jobber.
the jobber. So Rob was telling me that a jobber is a wrestling term for a guy who just comes on to be part of the show and get pinned. And that's how he referred to Karsten Hansen. But Karsten Hansen turns the tables on Rob and says, no, not so fast, my friend. I'm not here to lose. I'm here to win and collect that first title on American soil. So I thought this was a really good show. I thought this was the best show. You know, it was interesting to me. There were a lot of mistakes. There were a lot of big mistakes, even I would say, but it made for an interesting show. Not often that you see these guys leave a 157 on TV.
Go through the results, Mike, because I'll be honest with you, and I tweeted this out. I didn't even know it was on.
Okay,
Mike, I follow a ton of social media.
I got you. In the seeding round, you had Karsten Hansen. Scores were low. Karsten Hansen 224, BJ Moore 217, Tang 217. That went to a roll off. The BJ Moore won. I mean, huge roll off to get the 2 seed instead of the 3 seed. And Buttress shot 191 because he might be the worst spare shooter on TV in the history of the PBA. Right? Is that fair to say? I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
The seeding round is a joke, Mike. They got to get rid of that.
Dude, I didn't even want to go there. Honestly. It's
I love shit.
How do you give somebody that kind of advantage based off of one game? They bowl one good game and that means that they only have to bowl one game for the title. I mean,
it's terrible. It's terrible. Mike, they can look, how long is it that game? Was it half hour TV time you saying for that game? Right?
Yeah.
It's terrible. Dude, they could use that 30 minutes to actually like promote the pros that are on the show. They could, do interviews. I don't know, Mike. They could use that time so many different ways.
I would have rather seen game. Like
I know you'd rather have another game of bowling.
No, I'm saying even use the time for something else, but instead of giving one guy the advantage there, like have two bowlers face off, and then the winners bowl each other. As opposed to doing all four guys bowling at once. And like we discussed before, it makes for like almost, what the outside viewer might might look at as useless bowling, right? But it really wasn't useless because it was for the seeding, but when you watch it, it's hard to follow as well with the scores, et cetera. All right, let me give you the rundown here. So
Okay.
match one, Tang defeated Buttriff 214 to 160. Okay. Then in the semifinal, BJ Moore bowled an excellent game, really, really executed very well and defeated Tang 255 to 213. One of the interesting things here was Tang was using urethane the entire time, even though they were bowling on Scorpion. To me, I felt that had something to do with the. I mean, yeah, he likes urethane. I know that,
it gets to the point, Mike.
Something to do with the surface a little bit to me,
Mike. But it gets to the point like where you got to learn how to get out of urethane. Like it gets to that point, Mike, where it's just like, dude, like, yeah, it's not working, and that's the beautiful thing about using urethane. Is urethane lets you know pretty quick when you don't have it. That's why it's a great tool to have in your bag, because within 5 to 7 shots of practice that you're able to throw urethane or you can't. And it just sometimes these pros they're forcing the urethane, dude.
I'm waiting on my NFL Bose headphones to arrive shortly. All right, so you should see that change shortly. Okay.
Dude, they gotta know when to get out of urethane and try to make the resin work. And you know what? This was another topic maybe we get into a different day. But I mean, what are the bowling ball companies thinking about everybody using urethane on the TV shows these days? And I made a good, I was just making a point about it the other day, like what a motive, right? They come out with their new Alpha Jackal, which is like their benchmark ball, right? This is supposed to be the cream of the crop, right? Best ball they've made in years, and everybody's throwing it, and it's on back order. And you have their best bowler of EJ Tackett using a tank on the show when it was a great time for him to show off a benchmark ball like the Alpha Jackal. And he's using a tank. And what are you thinking if your motive, like the head of marketing and advertising and, those people, are they happy their guy is just on the show wearing their logo on their shirt? I mean, yeah, I would imagine so. But don't they want them throwing that ball too? I don't know. I'm just trying to make a point. Anyway, I digress.
So, the championship match was Carson Hansen and BJ Moore. Carson Hansen won 216-193. It was a pretty close match all the way through. BJ Moore really threw some errant shots late in the match to definitely allow Carson Hansen to not have to continue to strike. I thought Carson Hansen really did throw mostly good shots. He had some carry issues in the middle of the game, and that kind of allowed BJ Moore to stay in it there. But again, really good game. Shout to Carson Hansen, and congrats on the title there. I know it's his first title on U.S. soil, so that was another good show to wrap it up.
Hey Stu, real quick, I want to comment. Yeah, you could be like Belmo, right? You win the title with a pitch black and then throw the trend in the fill. And Stu makes that comment too, like you got to get that trend in right in the fill ball. I get it. Look, I'm just trying to make a point where there's just a lot of urethane going around these days, and it doesn't really help with the promotion of a new bowling ball. That's all I'm trying to say.
Rob,
I get why they don't.
Who had the best trip home from the World Series of Bowling?
Brad did. I don't care if he didn't win because
Brad Miller,
Brad Miller. That's a win. That's you winning a tournament, losing it. The confidence he's going to get from that show, because he's not he doesn't make a lot of shows. I think that to me is
who the fuck is this? Who is this?
Always troll.
Man, the burners love us, man.
I know.
The burners love us.
All I'm saying is I think Brad Miller had the best show, even though he didn't win. And this is the show where he's going to gain a super lot amount of confidence, and hopefully starts making more shows. But yeah, I say Brad Miller had the best ride home. Even though he lost, which is crazy to say.
It's easy. Stu got it right. It's Carson Hansen.
No, it's who? Who?
It's Carsten Hansen. He came all the way over from Europe.
Carsten Hansen.
The guy works a regular job as a medical tool maker. Okay. So he's kind of a regular guy. He's like a weekend warrior. He comes over here, has to go through all this bullshit to get over here, ends up winning the title. Who knows if we'll get that opportunity ever again. I mean, that had to be an awesome flight home. Had to be an awesome flight home. So I would say Carson
I didn't, Stu, in my defense, I didn't really watch the show because I didn't know it was on because PBA marketing doesn't do their job. The dream team didn't really come through.
We'll get to that. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Bear with us. This is a bowling podcast. We have to actually review the bowling. Who had the worst ride home, Rob?
EJ Tackett.
Yeah, we're going to say the same one, yeah.
EJ Tackett, because EJ Tackett just cannot get those wins, man. I mean, yeah, he's got, I don't know how many titles. What is it like? I don't know the exact number. I know it's a lot, 15 probably, somewhere around there. But man, like those are show this. He's got to come out with one of those wins out of the two shows he makes. No,
you know, I agree. I think it's EJ Tackett. You know what, Joe Bell Bottoms? I disagree, bro. I disagree. You know, when they did that, I was like, yo, this is dog shit. This is straight dog shit. That's what I thought to myself. You want to know why?
The Jansen song. No, it depends.
No, because like, what other sport would treat a guy who just won a title of that nature that way? You know, like it's ridiculous.
Was it
Mbop? If I was somebody involved, yeah, Mbop, yeah. If I was somebody involved at like the higher levels of the PBI, I'd go over, I'd fire that DJ immediately. Be like, don't, come on. This is a serious moment in this guy's career that he's worked his entire career for. Like, don't patronize it by doing something like that. That's just
he
not
does.
Right.
That's the thing, though. That's the truest statement. He's got 13 titles, but it doesn't seem like he wins that much because he's on TV a lot, and it's crazy, right? Like,
you think it was mental, Brian? I don't know, man. They were tough out there. They were tricky, but he did. I will say he did pitch him out, though.
Dude, come on, PBA.
Playing that song was dog shit.
Oh, don't worry, Mike. The 70-year-olds loved it. Don't worry, Mike. We'll talk more about the demographic.
That song's like it's absolutely irrelevant today, too. It's like stupid. All right. So we talked about who had the best ride home, worst ride home. All right, Rob. Where you want to go? You want to go lack of viewership?
Yeah. So I want to read an article that Jeff, our guy Jeff Wriggles. Do I say his name right? Is it Richgles or Wriggles?
Wriggles, I think. Yeah.
Wriggles. About the viewership for the PBA, for the league and the World Series shows, and I guess there was some kind of demographic from it's like BuzzFeed Daily or something that they do some kind of viewership like ratings, right? And the bowling fell like under 150 cable shows between the demographic of 18 to like 49. And look, we didn't even know about the shows. We didn't know about there was no advertising. There was no marketing for the league. There was no advertising. There was no marketing for a lot of these shows. The pros like Stu and Chris Barnes on their show had to do their own marketing for the shows. But the PBA, they weren't really doing much with it. So does it surprise me that the ratings were down? Dude, they were going up against, we talked about this. Sundays, you can't, bowling is not for Sundays, dude, especially when football is on. And you know what? They had how many months of Sundays where they could have put bowling on the last 6 months? And now all of a sudden football's on. Guess what bowling is on? Sunday or Monday night. And guess what? The demographic you're trying to get is going to watch football, Mike. And some of the games that the NFL are throwing out there right now on the prime time are great games.
Not to mention that if you were tuning in for bowling at 7:00 on Sunday night, right before the Sunday night football game with my Philadelphia Eagles, guess what, Rob? It wasn't even on.
It wasn't nice.
It wasn't even on.
Dude,
it was
that's
some
brutal
bullshit that I had to sit there and watch for like an hour, longer than an hour before bowling
People were
came
freaking
on.
out.
Yo, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Oh,
Like, is that where we're reverting to again? What's that about? How's there no explanation from the PBA on that? Like,
yeah.
how's there no explanation from FS1 on that? I mean, what was going on there? Like, I was watching the racing. It didn't even look like it was. They weren't even racing. They were talking about the engines and tuning up the engines and all this other
So
nonsense.
let me ask you, Mike, what happens to the people that set their DVR and didn't like set their DVR to go an hour and a half over the DVR time? They watch literally a half hour, 45 minutes of bowling, and then the DVR got cut off because that's exactly what happened to him. I can't imagine how many people. It was an NHR was live, so that's what happened. That
Okay.
went live. But look, it's bad look on the PBA. It's a bad look like for the bowling fans. Like they don't want to turn it on and wait an hour to watch a show when it's on even that late, and they're going to turn away and they're not going to watch it.
And listen, you know what else it does, honestly, is if you were DVRing it, forget it. You didn't see the set. You didn't.
No,
You
that's what I'm
probably
saying.
didn't
I said that.
for like the part of the first show or the whole
Yeah,
second show. So
dude. Anyway, so my whole thing is like now here's my next point, Mike. The viewership was down, the ratings were down. I don't know exactly what the all demographic ratings were, right? But they couldn't have been good, my opinion. The entertainment value of the shows, okay? What is different? Can you name me one thing that is different than a show pre Bolero and post Bolero when it comes to as a fan watching this show? What's different? What are they doing different? Coley's supposed to be this marketing genius. She has her dream team. Didn't she say that?
and let's I'll get we might as well throw that out there. So there was a tweet that I retweeted, the 215th on Twitter if you want to follow me.
Yo, JVT making the shout out. Keep popping. What
I
up,
saw
man?
that. I saw that. I was I also saw this and like Keith, honestly, I don't agree with that. You know, I think they had a lot of time to put these events together. You know, the PBA League was something that they knew they were going to run months ago. They had put out the date and said, this is the date, we're doing it. I'm sure behind the scenes they knew they were also going to be finishing up the World Series of Bowling if they had everybody there. So, you know, I don't know. We only have the information that we have, so we can only go. But listen, I want to talk about that tweet, right? So there was a tweet that Coley sent out after all the shows wrapped up, and it had her, and I know, you know, the person who's like in charge of the marketing for Bolero was in the tweet as well. I don't know who the other two people are, to be honest, but she sent it out saying, "Oh, we wrapped up the shows," and she tagged it Dream Team. You know, Dream Team, and I'm thinking to myself like, yo. I might be the biggest bowling fan in America, all right? And I didn't really know what the hell was going on with these shows. And I actively seek that information out, okay? So what's going on? What's going on? Like, why is there no, does it seem, support or backing from Bolero, from the Bolero team, right, when it comes to the PBA? It seems to me, Rob, like, things are getting worse, you know, and again, I've said it a few times. I'm definitely willing to include COVID in this situation and the pandemic in this situation. And, but yeah, listen, there was like no promotion for these events. The PBA League is supposed to be one of their premier products. And really, you know, and we're going up against football. Did anybody take a look at the PBA playoff schedule? Guess when most of the shows are? Sunday afternoons. Sunday afternoons.
Right against
and they're all going to be taped. Most of them are going to be taped, except for the first, you know.
Why? I can't like get over though that they make the same mistakes as they made when they were ESPN. ESPN was
I don't
using.
even think they're trying, Rob. I don't even think they're trying.
No.
Listen, in the I right before we came on the air, I watched the intro. I watched the like the interest piece for the Undercover Boss episode that's going to be in 2 days. Coley says it herself. They do a billion. I had to re-listen to it because I didn't know if she said million or over $1 billion a year in revenue. Come on. We could throw more support behind the PBA tour that they own, that she's the CEO of, right? It really irks me to see that lack of support.
But according to some of the pros out there, that they are doing a lot of. You ask a lot of the pros, and the pros are.
Show me what. Let me say something. If it wasn't for Lucas Wiseman and Flo Bowling, there would be almost no bowling content out there. There would be almost no bowling content out there if it wasn't for Lucas Wiseman and Flo
Austin
Bowling.
Barnes and Beef and a few other Flanagan.
All right, let me be clear what I mean. I don't mean stuff like this. I mean, real bowling, interviews with people who are engaged in the events, updates on what's going on, articles covering. You go to the PBA website and I go there all the time, and it'll be loads of time before things get changed or updated, etc.
The PBA needs to focus, and please, somebody fucking listen to me out there. They need to focus on how to bring in the younger generation, right? Junior Gold is getting thousands and thousands of entries, and the families, and why is that not converting over to like a more like viewership with the PBA? PBA needs to get better and younger, and they need to try to spend that marketing money, the marketing genius in their dream team, and all the other things that they're supposedly doing. They need to try to figure out how to get relate to the younger audience, right? The audience, the 16 to 30-year-old crowd or 40. They need to also learn how to or get relationships with the pros, right? And I've stressed this for so long. Instead of using a qualifying round for 45 minutes, do an interview or not an interview, but think of something creative that could get me to learn about Jason Belmonte, learn about Kyle Troop, right? Like try to build a rivalry.
Rob and I disagree on this a little bit. My perspective, I feel it's more the money. I feel like when you put up larger sums of money, it creates a more tense environment. It creates the action, it creates the drama. But listen, I don't like what I'm seeing. I really don't. I feel like things are regressing. I know there was no audience at these shows, etc., but just the lack of promotion around these shows, and the fact that even somebody like me found it hard to kind of know what was going on and what was being taped and what was live and when the shows were on, etc., and then the delays with it. I mean, to me, honestly, it was a disaster. It was a disaster. So,
I don't know.
I don't like the current.
They need to try some. Look, and here's my point: is what is different pre-Bolero to post-Bolero when it comes to entertainment value for these shows as a fan? Now, the bowlers could, Belmo and Bill and all those could get and they could shit on me saying, well, Bolero's doing this, this, and this, and this for the bowlers. Okay, cool. I'm happy for you guys. Great. But what are they doing for the fans and the entertainment values of the shows? And
it would be nice. It would be nice to see some bigger sponsors.
Mike, do you know what the definition of insanity is?
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But isn't that what Bolero was supposed to do in terms of bring on some bigger sponsors? Weren't they supposed to have, the marketing behind them to do that? Isn't that part of what FS1 was supposed to do? Yeah, why don't we see much of a change there? I don't know. I'm beginning to ask.
What about the entertainment?
That's it. This is it. This is it until 2021. Right? This is it until 2021. So who knows? Listen, here's what they did do. They made sure that they, include everyone. Right. So the women were included, et cetera. They made those changes. I just don't understand why other changes aren't being made, and addressed. Like, I don't get it. It really seems like regression to me. And
do we give them? And here's the thing: is I would love to be able to give them a mulligan on COVID. But I think we talked about that. They missed out a huge opportunity.
Yes, it was a lost opportunity. Like, if anything, you should have been promoting the shit out of these shows because people are sports craved. There's no sports content out there right now like there normally is, right? So, I mean, I would have liked to have seen it a little bit earlier, right? Instead of when you have all these sports going on at the same time. But yes, I do agree, Rob. I think that that they missed an opportunity. John Stevenson here in the chat is asking, will there be a 2021?
Yeah.
I would like to say yes. I'm pretty sure to say yes, but I don't know. I mean, definitely seems like a regression to me. All right, Rob, we talk about the lack of promotion when it comes to the PBA stuff. But Coley's real quick to retweet Barstool Carl whenever he sends something out. So he sent out a tweet the other day. I guess KR Strike Force. Yeah, good job encouraging this moron. Gave him a bunch of bowling balls and bowling bags. They were like hyped up Visiballs. Like one of them looked like a half full beer. They had the Barstool logo on them. One said Wednesdays are for Lig or whatever. Listen, to me, we tried Visiballs already. They didn't make bowling cool. Doesn't do much for me. But listen, Barstool Carl tweeted out his picture of all his new gear, and Coley immediately retweeted that and said, "Love it, love it." So she's real quick to promote something like that, which we already talked about on the show as being total nonsense. And the other tweet, Rob, just to clarify, the other tweet was, "That's a wrap on 18 hours of PBA Tour telecast. Thank you to this dream team. I am so proud of you. Hashtag women in sports." Is that what this is about? Is it just about her having a title as a powerful woman in sports? Is that good enough? Like, if I'm in that position, I want to actually do something to move the sport forward, not just sit there and say, hey, I'm here.
Happy to be here. You know how I feel. You know how I feel about the happy to be here mentality. I hate that so much. I mean, I'm just looking for more entertainment on the shows. And you know what? The league was good.
I've never seen her retweet anything for bowling related content like us or Beef and Barnesy or anything like that.
Well, she's on the Beef and Barnesy tomorrow.
I know she is, but I've never seen her retweet or send out anything on our stuff at all, their stuff, or any bowling.
She ain't doing it for our stuff.
But she retweets Barstool Carl. She retweets Barstool Carl, who, by the way, for being affiliated with Barstool has no followers. Okay? Has no followers for being related to Barstool.
Your personal beef with this guy makes me laugh.
Yeah, bring it. Bring it.
Like, all I'm saying is, like, but where's Tom Clark been?
I wish they would have just let him continue to do his thing. I felt like when he was doing his thing, it was like, we were on an upswing there.
Is that a legit question? Have you even seen a tweet or a retweet or anything out of Tom Clark in the last 6 months? Is he still the commissioner?
Yeah. He's not the CEO, though.
So is he like, is there something more to that than we know?
I don't know.
Well, I'm asking, like, is he still committed? Like, is he like, before Coley and Bolero bought PBA, he was, always like, he mixed it up with us, and he came on this show and he was a great guest. And I respect Tom Clark for that because, look, like, he was really nice to us. You know what? We had some falling out after the Simonelli suspension, but hey, like, I still have a lot of respect for Tom Clark, but where's he been? I mean, is there something more to meet? Is there something more going on there than we know when it comes to Tom Clark and the PBA?
Can I speculate? Should I speculate, Rob?
Oh, I love speculation. Speculate away.
It's what we do best here. We speculation. We come on here once a week and just speculate on a whole bunch of shit. So listen,
dude, this might be the comment of the year.
So we've talked to Tom Clark, right? We've talked to him on the show. We've talked to him personally, etc. He's a bowler, Rob.
He is.
The guy is a bowler.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's somebody like us. He grew up in this game. He loves this game. It's always been a part of his life. Like, even when he wasn't doing it at a high level and he was making his own career and doing his thing, it was still a part of his life, just like us, right? Coley is the antithesis of that.
Oh, right. Okay? Somebody comes in, doesn't bowl,
doesn't know anything.
Never bowled. You think he's bitter about it? You think he's salty?
No. I'm speculating here, Rob. I'm speculating. Let me speculate a little bit.
Okay.
I would venture to reason that two people who have such different views on one idea, what are the chances those people are going to be seeing eye to eye, Rob?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, really, like, if she's coming into his office and saying, here's what we need to do, and it's make the lanes easier and have celebrities on the show, and I mean, like
Barstool calls coming on.
that's like coming to us and saying that. Like you're not
Yeah.
you're not going to like the answer that you get.
Right.
I heard from a very prominent player that at
Mhm.
one point Coley and her team asked, "Why do you guys have to bowl qualifying? Why is that even a part of the tournament?" Like that's how little they understand. So like, to me, if again, and I'm speculating here, but if you have two people who are in those positions and they're such direct opposites of how they look at that given thing, I don't know how that works. I don't know how that dynamic can possibly work, especially when you're talking about a sport.
Yeah.
Traditionalist or not, call me the gatekeeper of bowling, whatever you bozo barstool bitches want to call me. You call me whatever you want. But listen, you're just not going to see eye to eye across the board. We're willing to change bowling in certain ways to make it better, but there's certain things about the game that we all, people who have been in the game for a long time, that we all really value and appreciate. So, all right, Rob, I'm good. I'm going to leave it there. Are you good? Or can we
Let's
start to
do our
wrap it?
football picks. Yeah, we got to do our football picks.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up for the people. Football picks. So last week, Rob, you had we're 1-1, right? This last week was week 2. This is week 3. We're 1-1. Last week you had the Saints -4. That was a winner. You had Seattle -6.5. That was a winner, and you had the Rams over the Giants -13. That was a loser. Okay,
I got close.
Yeah, I had the Bengals -3. That was a winner. I had Buffalo -3. That was a winner. And I had San Fran against my Eagles -7, picking against my own team.
And you lost.
And I lost too. So we tied this week. We both went 2-1, and we're 1-1 all together. All right. So do you want to give our picks for this week here?
Sure. I'm going with my guy Chavez here in the comments. I'm going with my JETS this week, getting 7, and there's one reason why.
Oh.
Joe Flacco is starting, baby. It's a whole new life to the offense. And we're playing the Cardinals, and I kind of feel like that's going to be a close game. I feel like Flacco is going to be a lot better than people think he's going to be. So I'm picking my Jets. Picking my Jets at +7. I'm going to pick the Buck.
I actually like that Jets pick because I think the Cardinals might be frauds.
They look that way right now.
I think Kyler Murray, like he had a few good weeks in the beginning of the year, and it really looks like he is not what people were expecting to be. But dude, the Jets, I don't know, Rob, that's a risky bet because like they're on the verge of falling apart completely.
Yeah, well, I feel like Le'Veon Bell comes back this week. There's 2 other players that come back this week. I mean, I follow the team pretty religiously, so I feel like it's going to be closer than 7. Anyway, so that's my pick. For one, I'm picking the Bucks over the Bears. I feel like that's not even going to be a close game. I don't even know how they're giving only 3.5 right now on the spread. So I'm going to pick the Bucks, and then my last pick, I'm picking the Dolphins getting 8.5. They're playing the 49ers. I feel like the 49ers are, they're banged up, and 8.5 is a lot. So
yeah. True. All right. This week I am going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Let Russ cook.
Dude, they're so good.
They're playing.
Dude, they're so good, man.
Like MVP level. They're playing the Vikings, who are really struggling. So I'm going to take the Seahawks -7 there.
I like them to win the Super Bowl this year. I think they're, to me,
wouldn't surprise me. I got the LA Chargers +7.5 with the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to take the Chargers there.
I don't know. You're going to lose that.
I like the young kid, man. The young kid is balling out, and he's got balls. He's leaving it out on the field, and I like it. Okay, I really like it. You're still here, son. You're still here. It's one of my students, yo. It's one of my former students, like from I think like a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago. It's amazing.
Yo, Jose, man, appreciate it, dude. Yeah, maybe one day we will do something where we commentate live during a show. Put it on. We thought about doing it where we just put on a show.
We have a lost episode.
Oh,
we have a lost episode.
Yeah, so here's what happened with the lost episode.
Should we tell the lost? Let me finish the football picks, and we'll tell the lost.
Finish the picks, and then we'll tell the story about the lost episode.
Seattle -7. I got Chargers +7.5, and I'm going to take the LA Rams -7 as well. against
Write it down.
Washington. Okay, so those are
this is a close game.
lost
Close match.
episode. Go ahead, Rob. Tell the people.
So we did a lost episode, and we're not going to say
no names here. No names.
We're not saying who was on it, but
we the names.
We had a pro. We had a PBA pro on, and we were going to do a review, a live. We put on YouTube an old footage of an ESPN show or a bowling show.
It was the show. It was the show.
It was the show.
It was the Randy Peterson, Ernie Schlegel 8-pin show.
8-pin show. So we had a PBA
pro on to come on with us.
We had
we were going
to. It was our first streaming show. Yeah, it was our first streaming show. So we had some technical difficulties. We were trying to get the right internet connection. We just didn't have like the right connection. So we were around a lot. Anyway, long story short, so we do this whole episode. During the episode, I said that Ernie Schlegel was a donator because
I brought up a statistic about how he had bowled like
thousands of stops,
and he only had a couple titles, and like the percentage of cashes were low. And Rob's like, "Oh yeah, Ernie Schlegel was a donator, right?
Donator, right? So here he is beating Randy Peterson, and I'm calling him a donator, right? Which, if you look at the stats and you look at the numbers, dude, it wasn't such a far out there comment. Like the stats back up. Like he donated, he missed and didn't make a lot of cuts compared to how much he bowled, right? I mean, if I bowled every stop everywhere across the country, I'm eventually going to find a win or two, I would think, right? If you're a decent bowler. Anyway.
The person we were doing the episode with got so offended and so pissed off that
I called him a donator
to Ernie Schlegel as a donator that he bounced on us.
Yeah, and he told me didn't understand.
He even reached out to us and told us, like, you don't respect bowling or bowling history. It's bullshit for you to say that and talk about a guy like that. But I want to say, at the same time, that person also told us a story where they met Ernie Schlegel or something, and they wanted a picture with him or some shit, and he wanted to charge them $50, right?
Yeah.
And he told them no. And then when we called him a donator, he freaked out and left and wouldn't come back to the podcast. So, listen, lost episode. You're never going to see it. It's never going to air. But Jose, we got the same ideas, man. We're getting there.
Yeah, I said maybe eventually when me and Mike decide to hang up the jerseys and sweep the rack, I'll play the lost episode and just say fuck it and just let it go and see what happens. Yeah, just put it out as our final episode, when we're signing off, and be like, here it is, the lost episode where Rob calls Ernie Schlegel a donator. Anyway, I always laugh about that. And when he told us that he wasn't coming on, or he was saying that I didn't respect for bowling, I was just going, yo, what? Because he's a donator? Because he is. I just kept fighting with him, telling him that he was a donator. I'm like, yo, man. Anyway.
True.
That was the story, right, dude.
We're going to wrap it up. We'll catch you next week. And listen, it's going to be a while for bowling action. You got the PBA playoffs coming up, but other than that, it's going to be tape shows for those, and looks like till 2021, the bowling action is going to be, a little bit sparse. But we'll keep it here. We'll keep it light, Rob. Right? We whether the PBA is on or not, we got a lot of stuff to talk about anyway.
Yeah, maybe we'll start, looking to get some guests on here and there. I don't know.
True.
We'll see.
A while with the guests.
Yeah, I'm not stressing for it. Like when we can get them on, we get them on. So I hope you people enjoy it, man. Enjoy your week.
Beef and Barnsley tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central.
Yeah.
Coley Edison. Watch Stu and Chris throw softballs. Watch Stu and Chris throw softballs too, while me and Rob troll away in the chat.
Oh, that's 8 a.m.
Real questions in there.
Hold on, wait. Let me check my work calendar, see if I have any meetings at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, you're gonna have to set your alarm for that.
No, what do you mean? I'm up at 5, bro. I'm up at work. Yeah. I expect to see some comments, Stu. Don't worry, I'll be professional.
All right, guys, take it easy.
All right,
peace.
Later.
Sweep the rack, yo.
Out.